Welcome back, guys. Today we are talking about faith.
Not his fiance.
Not her. But faith in the Bible. Specifically, all the people in Hebrews chapter 11 that the writer of Hebrews describes of how they had faith in God and what he was going to do and what he said he was going to provide for them. So, Dave, what is faith?
So, like you said in Hebrews chapter 11 verse 1 puts it perfect. And it says this: faith is being sure of what we hope for. It is being sure of what we do not see. Wow, what a bold statement right there. And it describes faith to be perfect.
Absolutely. We have a few people that we're going to talk about who had faith that Hebrews 11 describes. Person number one that I want to talk to you guys about is Abraham. Now, Abraham had incredible faith. God called Abraham to go to a place that he did not know. He literally told Abraham, pack up your things, get your wife, get your kids, get everybody, whatever, pack up everything and start walking. And Abraham was like, well, how will I know when I get to where I'm supposed to be? And God said, I'll let you know. Just pack up your things and start walking. I'll tell you when to stop. I'll tell you where to go. That's incredible faith. I mean, God had promised Abraham this land to his descendants and to his kids and their kids and their kids and so on and so forth. But Abraham had no idea where he was going to be going or what he was going to be doing. He just knew that God told him to pack up and start walking. And he did exactly that. This next person I want to talk to you guys about is Joseph. Not Joseph like Jesus' father, Joseph, but Joseph way back in the day in Genesis. Joseph was sold into slavery in Egypt by his brothers. And his brothers deceived his father, and all these things were going on. I mean, things were not looking very good for Joseph. Hebrews 11:22 says that Joseph had faith. He spoke to the people of Israel about how they would leave Egypt someday. See, the people of Israel were enslaved in Egypt at the time. The people were completely under Pharaoh's rule. And when Joseph had been sold into slavery in Pharaoh's house, he worked his way up. He began working his way up into higher levels of leadership within this house. And so he became Pharaoh's right-hand man. And now he speaks to the people of Israel about how God has promised that they're going to leave Egypt one day. But they just have to wait on his timing, exactly when God would tell them. In the last part of verse 22, it says that when his death was near, he even spoke about where to bury his bones, because that was going to be the promised land. And so Joseph had incredible faith.
This next person I want to tell you about when we talk about faith is a man named Moses. I know you're thinking you've heard Moses, the 10 Commandments, you've heard Moses getting put in the basket and floated down the river, but I want to tell you about a little different part of Moses' life. Just like Peyton had said with Joseph, they were waiting on someone to come set God's people free and lead them out of Egypt. And when you talk about faith, that would have been a scary task to lead those people out of bondage, to lead those people out of slavery, to follow what God had said. And Moses did it. For 40 years, he led the people through the wilderness, wandering around. Moses led them as they go, and he had faith, and he trusted in God in what he could not see at the time. No matter what the circumstance was around, Moses had faith, and he trusted that God was going to see them through it and lead them to the promised land. But there's one person in my life that comes to mind, and that is my grandfather. When I look at a definition of faith, I can't see it any more clear. Growing up, he was always there at church. He was always leading us to church, getting us here, getting us there. And it still showed faith in his life. Trusting in God no matter what the circumstance was. I've seen him go through several things in his life, in our lives, that has been hard, that has been trying times in our family's life, but still had faith. Just like those 3 men in the Bible that we saw God work in their situations, and we saw them have faith and trust that God was going to do what he said he would do. I've seen that played out in my grandfather's life as I've grown up. So I want to challenge you today. I want you to find somebody in your life that shows the definition of faith. That would be in your faith hall of fame. And thank them for having faith. Thank them for being an example of faith in your life.
So as we wrap up today, we got one main truth that we want you to know. I can trust God no matter what.